So first, I would like to know about your coaching journey, how you started, how you're mentoring, and how you're helping other people in this field.
Okay, so I started my coaching journey 4 years ago. So when I separated from my wife, or my wife separated from me, I went on a very deep inner journey of going through the grieving process. And there's one thing that I asked the psychologist that I was seeing at the time and the counselor that I was seeing at the time. I asked, how do I speed up the process of going through grief? And they both said, oh, you can't. You just have to take it day by day. And I said, bullshit. There has to be a way that you can speed up the process to be able to get into a space of yourself again, to be able to be whole. So, you know, when you have children, you've got to be able to be emotionally stable so you can make the right decisions, right? So I stopped seeing the psychologist and the counselor and did my own research in quantum physics, epigenetics, and neuroscience. And that allowed me to really understand how the mind works with the body and the cells within the body and the molecular structure of who we are, and how emotions, memories are all interlinked, thoughts, memories. And what I discovered after putting myself through a very deep process is I got to a state at 9 months where I wasn't triggered any longer. I wasn't reacting to the situation. I was able to consciously respond to the situation and take control and do it from a loving place.
That's a very important thing, which you have learned in the way. So yes, not being responsive and being just, learning from those past things which disturbs you for a while, and you have gone a very great way in that. So there are multiple types of grief which people face. Let us say from finances, relationship, job losses, and all sorts of things. So what can be the best advice a person who is suffering from any type of grief, from your side and your opinion, that how it should be done?
Okay.
To control the grief, whatever we are having in our mind and heart.
So there's something that I don't like the word grief. I think it has a negative connotation to it.
True.
I believe that when people know that someone's going through grief, especially in the Western culture, they tend to be scared of someone going through, not sure what to say, right? And almost like contagious. Oh my God, what's wrong with them? They're in grief, right? So it has a very negative connotation. So I came up with an acronym for grief, okay? From my experience. So grief should be looked at like this: graciously reclaiming inner self earns freedom.
That's a very nice line.
I'm going to say that again. Graciously reclaiming inner self earns freedom. So what does that mean?
That's very nice.
That means that you need to do the work on the inside, regardless of anyone on the outside. And it's going to be tough. You have to earn your freedom. And the only way to earn it is to walk through it. So anyone going through grief has to come to a place of acceptance. So there's five stages, right? 5 stages. First is acknowledgement. So if you're going through grief, you've got to acknowledge the truth, right? What's real. Don't make it bigger than what it is. Just look at the facts. Acknowledge it. You're involved. Okay. Number 2, accept it. You have to accept it. You have to accept it.
That's true.
If we don't accept it, then we're trying to push it away, or we're trying to deny it. We're trying to hide from it. The next is the hardest step of all, which is forgiving. We have to forgive
Yes.
ourselves. We have to forgive the other person involved or the other people involved. We have to get to a place of forgiving, and you have to do whatever it takes to get into that state of forgiveness. And it has to come from the heart. If you can't get into a state of forgiveness of yourself or the person involved or the people involved, you'll be stuck. And some people get stuck for a very, very long time. Years.
That's again true.
10,
Yes.
20, 30, 40 years, people will be stuck in this spate of unforgiveness, which then just brings down their vibration, their energy vibration, and it slowly eats away. The next step is healing. So this is a really interesting one, because a lot of people will go from acknowledgement to acceptance, and they'll jump over forgiveness and they'll try to heal.
Yes. Skipping few things in the middle.
Yeah. And if you jump over forgiveness and jump into healing, this is what happens, is you get addicted to healing. So people will spend years going through healing practices. Oh, I've got to keep healing. I've got to keep healing. But that's not the case. Healing isn't something that you're forever doing. Healing is just a step, once you've done the first 3 steps, to be able to allow it to flow through you. Because when you allow it to flow through you, you get to the next step, which is release.
True.
So the healing process is allowing you to really feel it, to allow it to work through the body, allow your body to do what it needs to do to release whatever it is that you're holding on to, the emotions, the memories. So everything is based around memories. Everything is based around memories. And memories are pliable. And they're pliable by our perspective. So our perception of a memory is pliable. So we can always change what perception that we have about our memory.
Yes, that's a very good approach, in fact.
So when you get to the release stage, you should be in a place where you're able to navigate the way that you view the memory. Because like the law of polarity says that nothing exists without a positive or a negative. Nothing exists without everything has a positive and negative. Every cell, every atom, every proton, everything that exists in our physical world is made up of cells, sound waves, whatever you want to say, but everything has a positive and a negative. Nothing exists without it.
That's true.
Right?
And you cannot deviate from this thing that everything which happens, there will be multiple aspects of that. And it depends on us if we are taking it on negative side or on the positive side. So this is life, the human life, or even the complete, we can say the animal and plant kingdom behaves in the same way. So
Yes.
you have to take all the things in a positive manner if you want to grow. Otherwise, there will be always an upside down thing, which will be troubling you for the rest of your life. And it's a very good thing which we can teach to others, that in spite of going ahead with trouble, you just need to follow the protocols to be healed. It should not be jumped in any level, because once you leave a level aside, then the complete healing process is not going perfectly. And the people who are in anything troublesome as of now, even if they get a shortcut method to be healed, again they will come back to the same arena with the same problem. And then this treatment will be frustrating from them, because they will think that once I did, but again the problem is there, so something wrong is with me. They should learn to understand that you need to follow all the steps. Jumping, skipping won't serve any purpose. That's very nice approach towards this. So apart from that, how you are motivating your complete people, those who are coming in link with you, or they are wanting to have your guidance in this regard of the complete healing process. So what are your advices on the same?
The greatest advice that I could give anyone in all of that is to always ask themselves one question in any circumstance. So what we have to understand is that nothing happens to us, it happens for us. There's always a lesson for us to learn, whatever journey that we're on, because we all have different journeys. We're all here for a different reason. But we have to know that whatever happens to us is there for a particular reason, for a lesson for us to learn. The lesson is the perception that we choose to accept. And the greatest question that you can always ask yourself is, how would love respond? It doesn't matter what circumstances you're going through, but if you constantly ask yourself, how would love respond to this? Because if you bring it back to love, which is a high vibration, which sits at 500 hertz, it will always raise you up when you start seeking what is the love response. That would be my greatest gift, because we will get triggered by people when we're in grief or going through a hard problem. Someone will trigger us and we'll get angry. But if that happens, you have to ask yourself, okay, so how would love respond? Where is this coming from? Because it's always in here.
True. So even this I have seen in my context and other concept, that if you have certain, we all have some or the other problems in our life. We cannot define it, but from day one of your birth till the day last of your life, you will be having some or the other problem. But if you're approaching it with an optimistic response, there will be always some or the other marvelous things which nature has preserved for you, which you might not be knowing. This I would like to add on. The same story runs with my books, which we were discussing earlier as well. So when I was going through after my academics and PhD and all those stuff, so I had the time to do research. And at that time, there were multiple questions in my mind, which I just conjured and added in the form of books that, okay, we should go on that. It took me 6 years to bring out the first Till the Kingdom Comes, which you saw the pics of that. I was not expecting it to be so bulky. I never thought that it would be going in that length. And I never thought and expected that it would be going to be Amazon bestseller. Luckily, what nature's preserved for me, we have never thought. We just presented our thoughts in different ways. We wrote them, we explored, we again researched, again wrote, and all those things, protocols followed. And the result was marvelous. So when we see people in any side of grief, we want to say, just hold on. Think what the best you can achieve out of this problematic situation. And this is the nature's way of teaching you. When nature starts teaching you, you cannot expect that same line of things that, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3. No, nature teaches you step 99, step 77, then step 1. I do believe that nature always is highly unpredictable, but whatever it is teaching you, it is just a wonderful thing. And a step will come, a time will come in your life when you will say, oh my God, it was great that that problem has come to me, because I came out stronger, I became more intellectual, I got more friends, or at least I know that how I am responding or how I am evolving. This is the best thing which I have seen, that we can learn out of each and every problem. And this is the thing which resonates with most of the coaches, because we see that, yes, this is the perfect thing, what problems can teach us. What are your thoughts on that?
Like, I really agree with you. I think that whatever you believe in, whether it's a universe or God, or whatever your faith is in that respect, everything is there to enhance you. And make no mistake, everything is associated to the bigger picture. Everything is associated to the greater collective. It's not just for you. You're learning something from some sort of challenge, which isn't just for you. It's for you to be able to teach others. That's the circumstance. We are constantly, as human beings, we're constantly upgrading. But if we put ourselves inside a shell and pretend that we don't want to be associated to the world, well, you're not learning the lesson of what is to be, because everyone is associated to a tribe. Human beings are tribal people, and we are always looking for someone to learn from. We're given the gift of a challenge to be able to navigate ourselves so we can become the leaders and the teachers for the ones that need it, because make no mistake, we will come across people on our path that need our help.
Very true.
If we allow it.
Definitely. And this is the reason why this human race is still existing and evolving. We have seen the cases of dinosaurs going to do multiple birds and animals which are vanishing and getting extincted on a daily basis. But we are evolving. We are learning from each and every one. Even if we can say that in martial arts, people learn from the snake style, eagle style, lion style, tiger style, and all those praying mantis, monkey style. So we are a continuous learning being. And when we learn and share this to others, we are helping them in some or the other aspect. Because whatever your teachings will be, suppose you had got some references of relationship, which you had and which made you some more stronger. This cannot be applied to a person who is suffering from finance, but some or the other things he can learn, that how I can evolve it and how I can use this for my betterment. Because if Kane has used these strategies to just simplify his life and come out from some XYZ, or Rishi has used for some other purposes, I can also use it. And this is the thing which we can teach to the global audience, because every day we see that some or the other things are getting added and people are suffering and they have their own hell lot of questions which they want to solve it, but they don't know the process to solve it. And here the coaches come into existence, where they teach them out of their own experiences, expertise, and learnings. Because I do believe that there is no course in the world which can teach you to become a coach, because every mind is different, every set of people asking you question is different, and the response they will be giving is entirely different. You cannot correlate that, okay, this has applied and this has been functional for person 1, it will be applicable to the person 2. There is no common medicine for this. So we need to research, we need to move ahead, and we need to help others in this regard. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, that's it's very true what you've just brought up when you look at the coaching industry. You can only base your teachings from your experience. And the knowledge is one thing, but practical is another.
Exactly.
And really understanding the ability, like I wouldn't go to, for instance, if I was going through grief, I wouldn't go to a business coach who's never been through grief.
Yes, that's absolutely correct.
Help, right? And I wouldn't, if I was making $10 million in my business, I wouldn't go to a coach who was only making 300,000 in their business, because it's
again true.
Two different worlds.
Yes.
So our ability as coaches is to know ourselves the most. Because if we understand ourselves and we understand our tales and tribulations that we've been through, that there is where you find your niche audience. That's where you resonate, because everything is about resonance, vibration. when you're honest and true to yourself and you live an authentic frame of who you are, people will see that. And people, again, like, you can't help everyone as a coach. And make no mistake, everyone does it. I want to help everyone. I've had this epiphany. Oh my gosh, I can do this. I'm going to become a coach and I'm going to be Tony Robbins and be all over the world and do everything. No.
And that's the biggest problem they are making up.
Yes. You have to be graceful enough to know that there's people for you. Just you. People just for you. But unless you have a voice, they won't know that you're there. And you have to be really clear about it. I help these people because I've been through these problems and I know how to break through. Whether it's health.
Your expertise will see each and everything. That's what we feel. Until unless you show that, yes, you are expert in this arena. And you must show that, okay, I don't have much information in this XYZ things. I cannot help you in that regard. This segregation is very much important because we should not keep anyone in the dark that, okay, I'm there for each and every purpose. You are not paracetamol. I do feel so that even if you have a headache or a fever or a running stomach, you can eat paracetamol in any combinations. You are not the paracetamol, I do believe, and you are a specific antibiotic which is for a purpose. You will solve a very specific problem. And this should be learned by all the coaches, because people come and they also ask us that I was doing this and I was helping other, but the result was not good, or the client was not happy, or where we have made some mistakes. So even I also suggest them same thing, that stick to your niche, whatever is your niche, whatever is your expertise, enhance your knowledge on that regard and help those people who are suffering with particularly that event or that stuff. Otherwise, you will be misguiding yourself also. You will be getting confused. And the other person will be also getting, you can say, might find themselves in a nasty corner because your advice won't work. And this will be problematic for a very big extent. Because I have seen that there are some persons who will be saying that, let us say, take an example of cryptocurrencies and stock markets. It's highly volatile, we all know. Those who are not having a very good knowledge and information on that, and if they are speaking and just asking others to go and invest without any knowledge, so there will be a massive disaster, or at least disaster in making. So people should understand that, yes, what I can advise to and whom I should advise. This segregation is the most fundamental things in a coaching industry. Wherever you are, whatever you are teaching, this should be your fundamental thought process. What you suggest on the same?
Yeah, I completely agree. 100%, 110%. Stick with your strengths. Stick with what it is that you have experience in. And look, I see young people, 20-year-olds, 25-year-olds, in certain areas where you kind of question it a little bit. And that's okay, so long as they've got the life experience behind them to be able to demonstrate what it is that they've actually achieved. Look, there's a lot of people out there that have had childhood trauma, and they've been very proactive at a young age to break through that. So that's an experience to share with people, because there's a lot of people out there that have been through some sort of childhood trauma and haven't been able to figure it out, and they'll be in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and they still haven't figured it out. So anyone that has a breakthrough, that's the quintessence, that's the credibility, right? If you can prove that you've been through these circumstances, got positive results, that's what you run with. And yeah, I couldn't agree more with really allowing yourself, like, to give you an idea, one of my clients, she didn't know who to focus on, right? She was like, well, I help women, but sometimes I help men. I asked her a few questions, and one of the most experienced areas that she had experience in was the mental health industry. Right, so she's been a social worker for many, many, many years. So where should she be? In social working places where she's helping social workers break through their own traumas so they can have better relationships, so they can be more confident in their workspace. That's a huge acknowledgement for someone to go, oh, that makes sense. There's an area that I already know about, that I've gone through, and I can focus on that one little area. And all of a sudden, she's a master in one little area, and she never knew it.
I think the most important research we should do daily is on ourselves, because we don't know ourselves. We know about entire universe. We know all those things which are not required in our day-to-day life, but we don't know about ourselves. I have got multiple people who complain about relationship problem with their parents, with their spouse, with their brothers and sisters, and all those things. And I say them that, see, this is a defined strategy. First, you have to sort out that whose mistake it is. The line of communication should never be broken, whatever it is. Even if you are talking with a person in, let us say, in a gap of 3 or 4 months also, it is acceptable that at least there is a line of communication. And today, at least you have a WhatsApp. You can just text how are you are, sometimes of festivals or whatever it is. You can just wish them on birthday. Because the biggest problem what people are facing is due to the communication gaps. They don't communicate with themselves. They have their own perception, which they follow. Then in their mind, they are prejudiced. And after that, they take their own steps and regret later on. That is the worst part, that they have the regrets. Because of many factors, I've seen that relationships suffer, finances suffer. A person who is having a modest salary is investing highly on, let's say, on branded clothes and cars, which are not of their immediate requisites. And then they are suffering. So here there is a great potential where we can change the mindset of the people to make them more happy. Because what I feel as a human, the most important thing that we need to achieve is happiness. Money is a part, a good family and each and everything is a part of that. But if you're not happy, then even if you have a good family, a good car, a good house or whatever thing cannot make you satisfied. And that is the most important thing. And if you are happy, everything what you have or you don't have, still it will keep you happy. I do hope so on that lines.
Absolutely.
So your words on that.
And I'd like to share with you, like what you just brought up about really understanding yourself, and it's key. So you brought up communication. Communication starts with yourself. If you can't communicate to yourself and be really understanding of who you are, where you're at, where the issues are, what the problems are, what they're associated to. So I guess the biggest thing that when you're dealing with grief, when you're dealing with trauma and things like that from a certain event, what we have to be aware of is that, yes, there's the physical event, but our mind absorbs thousands of bits of information from that one event. So you might forgive and do the healing on the event, but you have to be gentle with yourself and understand that there's going to be other triggers which could be associated to smell, to taste, to sight, tone. Someone's voice could say one word in a certain tone and it will freak you out and you don't know where it's come from, right? You go, why did I freak out? Why am I angry about that? Why am I being defensive? So understanding that when we do get to that stage of acknowledging that there's a problem, that we have to be aware that all of our negative reactions are associated to something inside us, because nothing happens without a reason. Everything happens from some sort of aspect within us. So knowing us back to front is so important. I actually give I actually give my clients, it's called the inner vision plan. The inner vision plan. Okay. Initially, when I came up with the theory of it, it was called the healing plan. So with whatever event that we go through, with whatever circumstance, whether it's you've gone through a divorce or someone's died, or maybe you get a new job, right? If you get really clear on the plan for you on the inside of where you want to be in 12 months' time, you'll know that if you start going in a different direction that you don't like, that something's wrong. If you're getting upset, if you're getting sad, whatever it may be, there's something wrong. So when we get really clear on our thoughts, our feelings, and the speech that we say, not just to ourselves, but to others, how we leave people, how we want other people to think about us, how we leave them in, what type of feeling do we leave them in, the intent. When we become very intent about how we serve ourselves and serve others, we don't have the ability of getting criticized, because if someone criticizes us and we're very clear on the intent of how we're treating people and how we're treating ourselves, then that criticism is just something that's involved with them, and we can counteract it very easily, because it's like, well, I know I'm being very intentful about my physicalities, about the way I speak, about the way I think, and about the way I feel. And I try to do that with everyone that I meet. So we have a business plan, we have a life plan, but no one talks about what's going on in here plan, the plan for here. What am I going to do? So it's like if you start a new job and you go, how exciting. I'm going to become this person in this job. Well, you need to be really clear about, well, if I stay 12 months in this job, I want to see me thinking like this. I want this type of knowledge. I want these types of feelings. I want to be speaking about this. And if you're 3 months into the job and you're nowhere near where you want to be internally, then there's a problem. And you can see it and you can go, okay, I'm offline here. Something's wrong. Maybe this isn't the right job for me because it's affecting me in here. Because anything that infects us in here will affect everything else around us.
True. And in today's world, we have seen that there are people, those who are not so much bright, or those who are not so much positive and optimistic as you are, they are giving certain negative influences to you, and you are losing hope on a day-to-day basis. We have seen this in house, we have seen in this business, and we have seen this in workplace, that there will be some XYZ person who will be always troubling you, because they literally know that you are optimistic, you are positive, you have that caliber, but I don't have, so I have to just disturb that fellow. And here, a person with a good approach also gets sidelined. And there they start questioning their own abilities and calibers. This is a very common thing, which we have seen. And the people who are coming for guidance from ourselves, there are many people, those who are saying that, yes, we have faced this problem because of some XYZ person, their negative influence, we are disturbed. And how to bring that negative influence or that negative aura of that other person out from our mind and soul. Because even we are sleeping, we are dreaming about that. When we are waking, we are thinking about all those negative talks. And this is a brutal fact that in today's time, we think more of what we don't need in respect to what we need. We are losing the focus, and we are focusing more on the things which are really not required in our lives. And I think this, the human eye, which has around 500 pixel capacity, we are focusing on only 20 megapixel camera, that okay, my mobile is my world and all those things, and social media is there, and we are focusing all those other things, keeping them out. And this is a problematic scenario, because when you lose a touch with your own self, you lose touch with many things. And here you are somewhere prone to social media, your mobile phones, that whatever they are saying, that is the only truth. If they're talking something negative about you, so you start believing that yes, there is something wrong in myself. So here is a big gap which we, the people, the coaches, need to address. And this is a global thing which we have seen more after COVID. There were more lives lost. There were people who lose their jobs. They have to just relocate to their native places. And this problem surfaced everywhere. None of the country was spared. And people started believing that there is something wrong with themselves. I have seen in countries like India, which we have the biggest population, that this is a common phenomenon now, that people are questioning their ability more because of some XYZ peer factors, social media factors, and the work environments. So, how you want to just suggest on this type? What should be done?
Interesting question. So this is all about understanding magnetism. So
True.
magnetism is positive and negative. The law of polarity is positive and negative. To have balance in the world, there is positive and negative. To have, like, if you look at the Bible, there's God and there's the devil. There's a positive and a negative. So what we need to understand and accept is that when we become magnetized, when we're really embodied in who we are, that we are going to attract positive and negative. But it is our choice to choose what we focus on. Do we say yes to the positive, or do we say yes to the negative? And it's always our choice. It's always the individual's choice. So whether or not they're getting bullied at work, well, there is a choice of how they choose to see that negativity. They can choose to leave. They can choose to avoid. They can choose to combat it with more positivity. But it's always a choice. So no matter how good that we get, the balance in the world is balance on a magnetized essence that attracts both good and evil, positive and negative, because we have to have one without the other. So if you never experienced anything bad, you wouldn't appreciate what it actually means to be happy.
Exactly.
So our appreciation is only there when we've experienced something bad. So when we have something good, we can go, oh, there's the difference. I really like good. Good is good, because bad shit, it's really bad.
True.
So our ability to lean, and I'll say lean, our ability to choose to lean which side we wish to stay in, because you might be in a car accident, bad situation, right? You might have lost a leg, bad situation. But you can choose to be, okay, what can I be positive about through this experience? How do I heal myself through this experience? Well, science shows that positive vibrations, positive thoughts are the fastest healers of all.
True.
And it also affects the mind.
Yes.
The mind, if you go into a negative state in the mind, it actually decreases the neural pathways, the neural energy. Your brain, in a way, you could say your brain shrinks.
Yes.
Instead of being in a positive nature where it's starting to thrive and seeking information to grow. Does that answer your question about why it's so important to understand the balance, that all things are positive and negative, and you always get to choose yes or no?
And I do feel that whatever the mind of a man can conceive and believe, it can surely achieve.
Yes.
And man is not the product of circumstances. You have your own choices to make in life. And you cannot just simply blame your circumstances that because of that X thing, I'm in a trouble, say. You have troubles, but you have to put it out and you have to move ahead. This entire work is with your limitations only. If you limit yourself, you are limited. If you unlimit yourself, you are unlimited. And wherever you want to have an approach in your life that yes, this is the thing I really want, and you start working on day one, at least you can move further ahead to grabbing that opportunity or the things which will bring it to near to you. And I think a person who has seen many ups and downs in his life, he has seen a black and white and blue and all the shades in life, that person can only become a good coach. I don't think that exact training is required as much as mental capacity is required as a coach, that you should understand what exact problems are. If you have been in a Rolls Royce throughout your life, you cannot coach anyone else that how should you are coming out of poverty or how you should work hard to come out, because you have not seen that problem. That X factor is missing in you because you have been always there in the bliss state. So when we see the life, when we ourselves apply that, yes, it applies on me, I have come out of that problem. And then when we train others with the specific ingredients, you can say, then you make a very good cook and who will be cooking the exact recipe of success for the other person. And that will be astonishing for that person also, because he will not believe that, oh my god, in last 2 months or 3 months I have never thought that this can happen. So when I was going through this phase and all those things which have been there writing the books, I came out on another book which was Kautilya with Katana. It is in work in progress still, and where I have blended the Japanese techniques with ancient Indian techniques to make you can say people of substance. I am very much emphasized by a concept in Japanese. You must have known about that Kintsugi principle. That if anything, let us say, normal soccer has been broken out, your kitchen stuff, a glassware has broken out, they will use platinum, silver, and gold to make it stronger and more beautiful. So life shatters us all the times. It's up to us how we collect all those broken pieces and what material, gold or platinum or silver, we use to make it again beautiful and more precious. And this is the nature's way of healing. Because I see in today's time, we have been educated very nicely, we have all the things, but one thing we all are lacking, that is mental peace. And this mental peace can come with inner communication, as we have discussed, and the thought process which must be signified in a such a way that people should understand their feelings first. Let the XYZ person, your relations come next. First understand yourself. I do believe in this regard. How you are looking on that?
Yes, 100%. You have to understand yourself the most. You are, again, everything is energy, right? So if you're angry, you're not just angry for you, you're angry around everyone. So if you walk into a room full of people and you're angry, you're going to infect everyone
Others
in
as
the
well.
room
True.
that you're angry, and everyone's going to be, whoa.
Something is to be.
Right. So that if you're really a conscious human being, you need to know that your energy, your emotions affect everything around you. So it's a responsibility, especially in a family, it's a responsibility to understand that if you're in a bad state, let everyone know. Don't pretend, because everyone knows. We all
Yes.
know that you're in a bad state. So just be true about it. And understanding that, allowing that to come out and not being scared about it, that's part of the problem, especially for men. They're scared to share their feelings. They're scared to say,
Yes.
I'm having a problem, right? I'm challenged or whatever. They're scared because there's so much pride and ego that they hold themselves back from actually exploring what could happen if they actually let go of something. So yeah, I completely agree. You need.
And I do feel that a mindset is.
What's that?
Yes, even I feel that our mindset has been trained from childhood that you are a male person, you cannot cry. So this is the worst advice our parents or their parents have given to the complete society structure, because everyone has their own problem. And if you are bringing it out, you are sharing it, then only the waste can come out. You are not self-sufficient. You need help and guidance. And that can be from anyone. But if you stick to your problem, it is going to eat you up from the inside. A person who is unhappy from inside can never give happiness to other person, even to the plants or pets. If he or she is having, they cannot give the happiness to them. So it's always good to be truthful first at the first place. You should be truthful. Yes, I'm angry, I'm sad, whatever emotions are there, you must say it up. And I think uh, from my side, these are the questions which we are going up. So now it's up to you, whatever you want to share more on from that regard. It will be a marvelous things to us for learning. So you can share whatever you feel like.
My time is running short now, but I guess the main question that I could ask you right now is tell me a little bit about your book. Tell me the fundamentals and what the philosophy is in the book that you've written, and what is the impact that you wanted to create with that book.
Yeah. Hey, how are you, Casper?
No, this one's Rafferty.
Okay, sorry. So that's a brother one.
Yeah. So this is Dr. Rishi.
Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you again. And I have given a congratulations note to your father. So your brother's done a great job yesterday.
Yes, he did. What do you need? In a few minutes. Okay. Close the door. Okay.
So about my books, there are 4 books. The first one is Till the Kingdom Comes, the Puzzle Volume 1, which is an Amazon best-selling right now. There are 2 more volumes, Volume 2 and Volume 3 of that. This is a historical fiction, and we have thought in such line of thoughts that yes, we are connecting India, Egypt, Greece, and US as a whole, because the story runs 10 to 15,000 years back and to the 15th, 16th century AD parallelly. So in India, Ramayana and Mahabharata are the most important mythological books, you can say, and historical as well, and the religious, not to forget that. So it aligns in such a way that what has happened 10,000 years ago has impacted the complete world. So there are fictional characters, there are demons, there are many more things which has been taken in a very new thought. A bit of research has been added on it, connecting the temples, the dot, the missing links of the ancient past. And we are presenting each and everyone as a global whole in those books. The next book, which is I think in next 1 or 2 months is going to come in the market, that is Kautilya with Katana. Here I have added the ancient Indian and Japanese samurai techniques to heal the complete process of a person. There are finances, there are relationships, stocks, there are anger management, and you can say strategic management, all as a whole, which it's quite bulky book. Till now it is 65,000 words going on right now. And we are in a process to showcase from generation 1 that yes, people who are of 15 or 20 years of age going all the way to 70, 80 years of age, they can be impacted by these books, because our minds need certain actions and they need the feedbacks that yes, how to motivate others, how to solve your problems, how to communicate in the family. And there are many things and lines and statements which we have used as quotes for day-to-day thing, which as a coach or as a mindset coach we can do to help others. So this is a very brief one on my books, and definitely once it comes in the market, I will be sharing it up right to you. Right now, the first book is available in Australia as well, so you can have a look on Kindle or Amazon.
Brilliant.
So it's going on in that way.
Brilliant. Well, that's super exciting because everything comes down to this and this. There's
yes, the coordination,
the heart and the brain.
Yeah.
So it's really wonderful that you're bringing out By the sounds of it, it's almost like a book series that you're bringing out. So that's fantastic.
Yes, I will be sharing you the pics of that and the promo videos. You will be liking it. I do hope so. So one without video of that.
I appreciate that. Thank you
So
so much.
thanks so much, Kane. And we had a lot of information and definitely looking forward to multiple sessions like this. It's quite energetic for both of us. And so going on with the talks. So you are also enjoying there in Australia, and I am enjoying here at Kerala. So it's a fun time, this perfect thing. Okay, Kane. So I'll take a leave then. Thanks again. Thank you.
Dr. Rishi,
Day.
thank you very much. It's been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. Enjoy your day. Bye.
Bye.